Okay, so if you've been following Satisfactory at any point, you likely know that there are two methods of supplying your machines: perfect split and overflow manifold. They each have advantages and disadvantages. Perfect split, all your machines start immediately, but the disadvantage is as you expand your production line, the need for splitters for a perfect split grows exponentially. However, for an overflow manifold, you need the minimal amount of space, but as you expand your production line, it takes exponentially more time to fill up the entire production line to 100%. It is possible to minimize a perfect split into as little space as possible, but that's not what I'm here to show you. What I'm here to show you is another method that combines both the benefits of perfect splits and overflow manifolds that I'm going to call a controlled flow manifold. Now, for a control flow manifold, everything is supplied by one high velocity line. In this case, it's a Mark IV, feeding 16 smelters at 480 parts per minute. Now, for every two smelters, there is one control line coming off the main feed line, a Mark I belt that's taking parts off the main feed line at 60 parts per minute and splitting it between the two machines for 30 parts per machine per minute. So you get the benefits of your perfect splits and the benefits of your minimal space with an overflow manifold using the same number of splitters in just a bit more space. I am not used to control. Yes. Give me that. Nope. Thank you. Now that line will fill easily within a minute, and when you shut off your production for when you need to renovate or fix a problem, it'll bleed just as quickly. Which is rather more powerful than I think most people realize. Especially if you were to say, on the last link of the chain, I just have it splitting between a regular Mark I belt and having you continue with the last 30 parts, or 60 parts. If I replace this corner with a smart splitter and have an overflow line coming out this way, and this just is replaced with another Mark I control line, the moment anything goes wrong in any other stage of production, the overflow will start taking away the excess parts, and it'll sink it. And that, if you do that for even your overflow manifolds at any stage in your production, you can diagnose what's going wrong where by seeing what's sinking, which I think would be a very useful thing to do. You could also use an overflow function on a splitter to use a manifold to handle an uneven number of parts without any complicated load balancing. Like, say your last machine is at 50%, but you have too many parts on your line. You stick an overflow a smart splitter with the overflow function on it. It'll take away the last 15 parts to do whatever you need to do with it. Simple as that. This is far from the only example, though. Over here, I have two Kibitz steel engines, but it's adapted for the solid steel ingot recipe, which takes 40 coal and 40 iron ingots rather than the 45 this was originally designed for, with the perfect splits, by perfectly splitting a Mark III line into 6 eaches. Instead, I have a control line of a Mark II. That's 120 parts per minute. Split into every 3 machines, I achieved the 40 parts per minute needed for the solid steel ingot recipe. And with Mark IV lines, which is 480 parts per minute, I can feed not one but two steel engines with one pair of lines. Now, at the end of it, both lines on either side will be full to about 3/4 at 650 parts on each belt, for a total of 720 parts per minute. So, it won't be quite clear if it's full. Everything's running, so it must be at 100% capacity already. Now this is the design I made for my solution for basic ingots, because I wanted an engine for iron and copper ingots, but I didn't know how to do it. Designing this is what facilitated learning that I could use lower belt tiers to minimize load balancing in as small a place as possible. This machine has 16 smelters, so it does the exact same job as this line of machines here. There we go. Now, I'm not going to explain how to build this today. You can ask me, you can leave it in your comments if you're interested in learning. It's 3 foundations by 5 foundations, and I designed it a year ago, and I'm still pretty proud of it. Even though it took me this long to... Oh yeah, I forgot how fast it was. Anyways. Sorry. Where was I? Ah, yes. I wanted to introduce this idea to you because I've not heard anybody talking about it, and it's surprisingly powerful. So I thought, if everyone in the community knew about this way of load balancing, what would people design? What could they make? There's one basic ingot I have not been able to design for yet, and that's Caterium ingots. And I want to see what everyone else makes. So, yeah. I just finally plucked up the courage, and I wanted to share this idea with everyone. Because I think it's just really, really elegant way to load balance. Of course, I also play Satisfactory like I'm playing Zachtronic games, so that's... I'm getting sidetracked. This is all I had to say. I'll probably come back with another video on my ideas of the overflow function and how to achieve overflows with pipes too, but that'll be another time. I'm Dotty, but people who talk with me call me DT, so let's go with that. I'm DT, and I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for joining me.